Arthur and I celebrate our birthdays one day apart, and we'd often celebrated them on one day or the other, and this time it was Arthur's turn. We were trying to decide what we could do to make this birthday really special. This was a birthday I think we all knew, although none of us spoke about it, would probably be Arthur's last birthday.
We live in a society with a lot of ambiguity, and lawyers have a role in that requires some kind of historical memory, and so that's what I see one of my strengths as, which is the willingness to tell the client what I really believe. And I said, well, I want to eat with the prisoners. I chose Christmas Eve to do it. The state just went wild. That you can't do that, they'll assault you, we can't protect you. I said, well, I'm not afraid.
The family had suggested to Yale that they would like to try and organize a chair. Ellen said, I'll give you a list, and could you ask our friends and Arthur's clients? I don't feel comfortable doing it.
Arthur Liman is here. His career as an advocate has placed him in the middle of some of the extraordinary events of recent history, at the side of interesting clients and across the table from his most formidable colleagues. His televised interrogation of Oliver North, Richard Secord, and other Iran-Contra figures.
Destruction of that November finding that you did see the job of a national security advisor as including protecting the president from political damage. You recall that?
Yes, I did.
If this got out, it would be very controversial.
I did understand that.
And that it could, if it got out and the president was associated with it, cause damage to the president.
I realized that it would do that, yes.
And that was indeed the reason for not telling him.
That's correct.
Did you not think, sir, that given the potential for damage and embarrassment, that he, the President of the United States, should have the choice whether to proceed with this use of the money?
That thought didn't cross my mind at the time.
We asked Ellen for extra names because we were convinced we wouldn't get 100% participation, but lo and behold, we got...
Neighbors taking pictures too.
Can't turn around at that.
You know, you had a famous movie maker next door.
And we asked them to be present with us for Arthur's birthday very shortly thereafter.
And I think we got both 100% participation, not only in the gift, but in attendance also.
He didn't simply lend his name to public interest organizations. He became the total advocate for the causes he took up. Public service was not a pro bono sideline for Arthur. It was a central vocation.
Oh, I didn't say that he was a victim
he is guilty of some wrongdoing.
He pled.
Right.
As any lawyer who has picked a jury can tell you, the justice system is very fragile. It depends entirely on the confidence and support of the public for its acceptance.
After almost 40 years of practice, he is still idealistic about the profession's potential for good.
The party was a buzz from the moment the first guest came. They were all so glad to be there, and they were sitting and standing with a cocktail in their hand, and in rolled Arthur with his family. He just sat at the entrance to the living room, and the tears came down his face. He couldn't believe. I believe it was Tony Cronin who announced to Arthur during his toast that the family had requested and Yale had accepted that a chair be made in his honor. Arthur was so moved. The tears rolled down his cheeks, and I doubt that that happens very often with Arthur Liman.
And at one point, we were supposed to eat in silence, and I was talking to people, and the guard came over to tell me to keep quiet, and all of a sudden a chant rose from the room. Let the man alone! Let the man alone!
He had such a profound belief in public service for himself in his life, and this chair would keep everything he stood for alive.
The public pays part of your education, and you have a responsibility of not just simply skimming from society. I've always felt that public service was an important part of a lawyer's responsibility.